So it's telling us here, this is another reason we need to win souls, because one day we're going to stand before the Lord. Is our basket going to be empty or full? What have we to offer him after receiving from him so much? Are we really trying to bring others to know this wonderful truth and get them also ready and prepared to meet their Lord? Jesus, remember, died for the whole world. There was a man, he was spirit-filled. He was a deacon of an Assembly of God church, which is the group that I belong to, all right? And he worked in Shell Oil. And he was so caught up with the shares in Shell Oil that after church each Sunday, he would find himself talking to people and trying to sell them on Shell Oil, Shell Oil, Shell Oil. Well, one day, he hadn't been feeling well, so he went in for an exploratory operation. And when they opened him up, he was riddled with cancer. This is a true story, friends. He was riddled with cancer. They didn't even try to, they just sewed him up and told him he had 6 months to live. When his pastor came to the hospital, this man told him that. He said, they've given me 6 months. But I want to tell you something, Pastor. He said, when I was out under the anesthesia, he said, I found myself in a line waiting, and many people were in front of me, many people behind me. And he said, I noticed on their arm, each one had a basket, some full of flowers, some just partially full. And he said, as I got closer to Jesus, I felt a weight on my arm, and I looked, there was a basket on my arm, and the basket was totally empty. And he said, right then I stood in front of the Lord, and he said, I looked at him, and his eyes just looked at me, then looked in my empty basket. And I said, Lord, forgive me. If only you could give me another chance. I didn't realize how important this was. And the Lord just said one thing. He said, you have 30 days. The doctor said he had 6 months. Jesus said, you have 30 days. And, he told his pastor, he said, Pastor, I never realized it before. But, up in heaven, there's no Shell Oil. There's no shares for Shell Oil. The only thing that counts to the Lord are souls. And he said, from then on, in those 30 days, he just was on the telephone when he was able to get out of bed. Everywhere he went, he never talked Shell Oil anymore. He only tried to bring people to Jesus, because that's all that's going to count when we stand before him.